Hello,
Hi.
my name is Katoya and I'm a student in Social Work 311, a social work practice class at ASU. I'm required to practice my interviewing skills with volunteers. I really appreciate your willingness to work with me on my class assignment. I will be asking you to talk about a time of transition in your life that involved changes and required an adjustment, but was not a traumatic event. Okay, so I would ask that you please choose a topic that reflects the boundaries appropriate to discussion that I can discuss with my classmates. And also, please avoid disclosing close personal relationships like your family, your partner, which often require counseling skills that is not on my level of training yet.
Okay.
So, as a student, I cannot offer any form of legal confidentiality. However, anything you say to me in this practice interview will remain confidential, except for certain expectations that state law requires me to report. Even as a student, I must report a serious issue of harm to yourself, indications of child abuse or neglect, indications of elder abuse or neglect, and indication of serious harm to others. I will be video recording this whole session for learning purposes. If you feel uncomfortable at any time, let me know and I will turn off the recorder.
Okay.
This interview will only be shared with my instructor. Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay.
And I am not an experienced interviewer. I cannot do formal counseling. As I mentioned earlier, the purpose of this interview is for my learning purposes only. Do you agree to all that I just stated?
Yes, I
Okay. May you please sign here?
Yes.
Thank you.
What's today's date?
The 30th. Tomorrow's the 1st. Thank you, and I'm going to go ahead and sign also in front of you. Thank you. And may I have your name?
Alexandra Chavez.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so can you tell me about a time in your life where you had to transition?
I will be talking about transitioning from a science major to a social work major.
So why did you decide to make that choice?
For me personally, I found that science really wasn't my passion anymore. I did go to high school that focused on science and engineering, but once I started here in college, I saw that it wasn't something that I saw myself doing anymore in the future.
Okay.
And I knew that I wanted to focus on working with children, but I just didn't know in what career choice. And then I decided to research about social worker because I've known social workers throughout my life, and it was interesting what they were doing. And I went to ask an advisor about it, and they guided me through what classes I was going to take, what the program consisted of, and how it was going to, how my future career, professional career was going to be in the future. So that's why I decided to change it.
Okay, so what you just stated is that you decided to change because you found it quite interesting.
Yes.
And after you spoke with your counselors about the career change and the classes you have to take, you decided to go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so how old were you when you decided to go for it?
I was about to be 19. I was 18 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you taking classes for it now?
For
social work.
Social work, yeah. Since I started my sophomore year up to now, I have.
Okay. And you also mentioned that you knew a social worker. What do they do? What field?
They were in the field of school social worker. So that's where I went to preschool, and that's where my mom met the social worker, and we had a relationship with them throughout these years. And she would talk about how she would help clients, the parents' clients, like kids who were in low-income neighborhoods, and how the interventions she would plan out, how she would implement them into the neighborhood, and how much of a change she would create in the so many years that she's been in that career.
So, as I can see, you found school social work interesting.
Yes.
So, is that the field that you want to go in?
Yes, that's the field I want to go into. That and maybe a hospital.
And why did you choose hospital?
Because of the science background. Like, I still like science, but I just didn't want to go through the whole science courses. And I guess this is a way of doing it. Like, you still are in a hospital setting, but you're helping people, and that's what I want to do, help people.
Okay, so what do they do in hospital social work?
From what I've known, I went to a orientation at St. Joseph's, and they were talking about how they like provide resources to their clients and how life-changing that is because they don't know where else to go, and having those resources from a hospital social worker has really changed their life.
Have you ever trained, did an internship or actually went and seen what a social work does in hospitals?
No, I just saw like a video because you had to be 21 and over to be in a hospital setting. But I did have an internship with a homeless community at St. Vincent de Paul, and I was able to interact with the homeless community and do intake interviews, and that's something that I'm also possibly doing in the near future. But yeah, that's
how long did you interview at St. Paul?
For a whole semester.
For a whole semester. Did you like it?
Yeah, I did 84 hours of community.
Wow.
And it was a very life-changing like experience because I had never worked with the homeless community, and it was a lot to take in because they would talk to you a lot about their like personal life, and like I'm not trained for that, but I also was able to interact and learn from their experiences and how that I can use that as my future.
So that it seems like that internship really shaped your passion for social work.
Yeah, that's like the first interaction I actually had with working with.
The first physical interaction?
Yeah.
So what population did you work with?
I also had an internship at when I was a senior in high school with kids at the Burton Bar Library, and I did a whole year worth of an internship. And then I also worked with St. Mary's Food Bank for a semester, and then I did a homeless community for a whole semester.
Did you like St. Mary's?
Yes.
What did you do there?
We would provide the food resources that the food bank had, and then we would take it to their car and provide it with.
So was it like the broad general population, or was it like children?
It was a general population, yeah.
So in hospital social work or school social work, do you have like a certain, hospital is probably the broad population, but in school social work, do you have a certain grade level?
School social work, I want to do elementary school first, and I want to focus in like low income neighborhoods, and because that's where I was raised in for the most part of my life, and I've seen like how hard it is to be raised in a school like that, school setting like that, being in a Title I school, and how limited resources we might have while we were growing up. So that's something that I want to focus on, like do interventions and learn about the kids' lives. And
so it sounds like you want to give back to your community.
Yes, that's ideal.
That's good.
Yeah.
So is there any other field that you thought about after you decided not to be a science major anymore? Were you nervous? Were you scared?
Yes, I was very scared because being a pediatrician was something that I thought my whole life that I was gonna do, something in the science field. I just didn't know what, and then I decided to be a pediatrician, and it was hard, but I knew it was something that I had to do because it was something that I wasn't happy with anymore. And I did talked about it with my advisor, and she said that if it was something that I did see myself doing, then to do it, and it was absolutely something that I did.
So social work makes you happy now?
Yeah, because I can see myself doing it now. Like as a pediatrician, I did see myself for some years, but actually like doing the classes and like how like the setting was gonna be like, I didn't see myself doing it anymore.
So were the classes hard? Because you stated that you were in the classes and you didn't see yourself doing it anymore.
Yeah, they were hard. They were interesting to learn about, but they were very hard. The labs were hard too, and it was just something that, it was very difficult to, I guess also like the transition from high school to college, even though in high school it was mainly focused on science courses, it's still very different. Like the setting, and then my high school was only about 300 kids, and my senior year class was about 60 kids, and then we were divided into a 30 class setting, and then I was more used to the one-on-one interaction, and then here, of course, the science class are almost 200 students per class, and I didn't really get that as much.
So it sounds like the class size was also an issue when you first transitioned from high school to college.
Yeah, and then asking for the help with like my science courses was hard because I was used to like just asking a friend that I've known for years, and then here I just knew one friend and I didn't have a lot of classes with her, but it was a hard transition.
So is it a little easier now that how long have you been here?
3 years.
So is it a little easier now that you've been here college for 3 years now?
Now I go to office hours, and I also think that like as social work, I like actually put myself to ask for help because it's something that I do see myself doing. As for science, I didn't really take like importance of it. It's like I'll just get it later on. I'll just teach myself how to do it. Like I didn't put myself into doing something about it.
So do you feel like you made the right decision being a social work major?
Mm-hmm.
And as you stated, you feel like it's a lot easier to get help as a social work major. Why is that?
I think because most of our professors are like also focused on social work, and they understand like how hard it might be. Like our class, some of our professors, they state like they changed the curriculum just for us to know that we can change it for us to like for it to be easier throughout the semester. I guess they understand more than a regular professor would.
So have you reached out to your teachers?
Yes, I've had office hours with them, most of my teachers, and I email them about questions that I might have, or I stay after class and ask them about questions that I might have too.
So do you feel more at ease with getting help from your teachers during office hours as a social work major than you did as a science major?
Yeah, I do, because I actually understand what's being taught to me, and I can ask questions that is going to help me with my learning. As for the science major, I didn't understand a lot of it. I had to watch YouTube videos or read more about the book and go over my notes more. And like I thought that I was not like dumb, but like I feel like I wasn't, I guess, smart enough to ask the right questions to teach me.
So do you feel like the questions that you have as a social work major are easier?
Yes.
And you don't feel like you stated dumb?
Yeah, because I actually understand, and it's actually something that I want to gain from and learn from, so I can implement it.
But can you clarify when you said you felt dumb?
Not dumb, because like I didn't understand a lot of what was being taught, so I felt like the questions I was gonna ask were I guess stupid to ask, because it was something that I had to know already in high school. So asking it was gonna make it seem like, oh, she's not paying attention in my class, or is she really struggling that much? She really needs a lot of tutoring. Like I always had that in the back of my mind when asking for help in that major. But here, no, because I actually know more about it, and I read about it, and I focus in class and write notes and just ask, I guess, meaningful questions.
So it sounds like social worker fits more with your life and fits more with your style of learning.
Yes, it does. Very much it does.
Okay, so do you feel that you'll ever go back to science?
Honestly, I don't know. Like as of right now, I don't think so. I might be going back. Maybe later on, like when I go into social work, I might take like some community college classes and do like some science, but I don't know in what yet. But maybe, in the future I will.
And what field do you want to practice on? Well, you stated you want to be in hospitals, and so the micro level first. Do you ever want to go to the macro level?
Yes. So once I have more experience and I see like the reality of the situations I might be in as a social worker, and actually like writing notes and seeing that what has to be done at a macro level, I will focus on the macro level later on.
What exactly do you want to do there?
Where? On the macro level?
Yes.
Maybe policies and laws about it. Especially with the title, like the school social work, because there is a lot of problems with the teaching environment at like low income neighborhoods. The education might not be as equal as it is at like a high income neighborhood, and it's very different, and like education should be the priority, and it's very changed. Like for me personally, when I was raised in the Title I schools, I wasn't taught like science courses up to like when I was in middle school, and then history as well. And then when I started my high school, like education, it was very hard to catch on because I didn't know about it, and that's something that's very interesting to focus on, and that's what I want to do, like the school social worker at a low income neighborhood.
So it sounds like you want to focus more on Title I
Yes.
policies getting passed?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. what exactly do you want to see get passed? Like, do you have a specific policy regarding Title I? Do you just, because like you stated, you didn't have certain science classes.
Yes.
Do you want to see those classes being implemented into the curriculum?
Yes, I guess showing the importance it is to have like the same level of education for every kid, because it's very important to have that. Like, it's something that should be the priority, and I didn't see that as I was growing up. It was hard to like see that we didn't have enough money to afford like gym equipment as other kids from other schools did, just because they were, I guess, they were given more money than us, and it was hard to see that as I was growing up, and that's something that I want to focus on.
So you said that it was hard to see. How so? Like, how did it make you feel?
I guess throughout my as I was getting older, I was seeing that we were like, we had very limited resources for us to gain a better education. And then I saw like how little resources we had once I started high school. My friends did come from like a higher class background, and they would talk about how they had this and that in their school and how much they would learn, and I didn't get that same experience. And I had one friend that had the same experience as I did, and she was also raised in a low-income neighborhood, and she was talking about how she didn't have science courses either, and history, and how much that affected her throughout her high school career, and how we had to learn on our own when we were freshmen in high school about it. And that's what, like, very much.
So I see it wasn't just your neighborhood, it was actually your friend's neighborhood also.
Yes.
And she went through the same stuff
It's
that
a
she
lot
went
of
through.
neighborhoods here, well, everywhere in the world, but here in Phoenix, there's a lot of neighborhoods that have the similar experiences as I do.
So growing up, there was no one that said anything about it. Did you ever see any of the? There was.
There was. We had a lot of like parent conferences and teacher meetings and everything, and we had like, our principals would change a lot throughout the years because they just couldn't take in all the hard work they had to put in. And then our teachers would move out a lot. We didn't have like the same teachers for like 5 years consistently. And then when like from kindergarten up to like 4th grade, I had like the same teachers, the teachers that were there every single year. And after that, like, everything changed. We had new teachers almost every year or almost every semester. They wouldn't last long because of like the poor quality education.
So from what you're saying is that the poor quality education affected your teachers' careers and their lives and their jobs.
I guess they didn't get paid a lot as well because they would move a lot as I was growing up. And it was hard. I mean, for me, I knew that I had to set myself to continue my education, even though I didn't have as much like a great quality education. But a lot of kids that I was raised with, they took the wrong route. They would do things that they shouldn't have done because of the interaction we had with teachers. They just saw that maybe their education wasn't as important as it seemed, because our own teachers would give up on us. They would say, I can't do this anymore, and they would leave year after year. And that did affect us a lot. Well, for me it did because I saw it, but I knew that it was something that didn't necessarily have to harm me. I didn't make that choice to harm me, so I decided to continue my education, and other kids didn't. They saw it and they decided to take a different route, and maybe what was happening at their house made them decide to take a different route.
So it sounds like all that you went through growing up as a child affected you wanting to give back, you wanting to help, you wanting to be a social worker.
Yes, because I had friends who decided to do things, and I wanted to change that, help to change that, to see that you are important, you can continue education, and you can pursue your dreams, your big dreams, whenever you want.
So it sounds like you want to be the change, you wish to be the change you want to see in the world.
That I would have wished to see when I was younger, as I was growing up.
So do you feel like you're taking the right steps now to be that change that you want to see
as a kid? What I'm learning in school, the professors and how they talk about what they used to do in their, when they were social workers, or how they're doing it now that they are social workers. It's very mesmerizing to see that, to get that inspiration.
So you feel as though your teachers' experiences and their jobs and what they've been through in their social work career has also helped shape your your decision about being a social worker, kind of like finalize it for you?
Yes, finalize. Yeah, that's a great example. Finalizing it, finally saying that yes, this is something I really want to do.
Do you ever regret leaving?
No.
Your other major?
Yeah, no. I'm very happy now. I feel very passionate about it, and I hadn't felt that in a long time. Because throughout high school, I knew science was something, and I didn't feel that anymore. When I started here, and I'm like, I don't see myself doing it. And then once I changed to social worker, I said, yes, this is something.
So did you have a lot of support making that choice from jumping to a science major to a social work major?
Yes, I did. My family supported it. They knew that it was something that I liked, and I actually saw myself doing to do it. My friend that I had known for throughout my whole high school career, my whole high school years and to college, we had the same classes. Some of the same classes, she said that she was questioning it. She said, why are you going to change it? You've always said you wanted to be a pediatrician. And I had to explain to her, I see myself doing this. I like it. I talked to the advisor, and this is something I want to do. She was okay, if it's something you want to do it. And
it seems at first your friend was kind of not criticizing you, but just making sure you were making the right choice. Did you have a lot of people that was trying to talk you out of it?
No, not that one. Not talk out of it, but just questioning it. Why? Why do you want to do it if it's something that you saw yourself doing but something you actually wanted to do? And I guess I didn't really talk about it as much as I should have with the people that were surrounding me, as much as I should have in the past. But it was like a switch. I just wanted it.
So they felt like you just made an impulsive decision just to switch out of nowhere.
But even because I hadn't talked to them about it so much, that's why that was impulsive. But I did think about it for a couple months before switching it. I guess that's why they thought it was impulsive.
So you're saying that you kept it to yourself for a couple months. You've been thinking about it, but you just didn't tell no one.
Yeah, I didn't keep it to myself because I wasn't sure of myself too. Do I really want to do this? I mean, I'm almost gonna end my freshman year, and is it gonna affect my scholarships or something? Is it gonna affect if I graduate early or late? And I just didn't want that. And yeah, maybe because I wasn't sure of myself. That's why I kept it to myself for so long.
So what gave you the push to actually say, you know what, I'm gonna do it regardless?
Asking about it. Once I started talking with my counselor, I said, I want to do this. And she talked to me about the career choices I can do, the classes I was going to take, how the program runs, what the program consists of. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this. This is something I want to do. Yeah, that's when I finally decided.
So do you feel as though your counselors has also been a big part of your decision to join the social work curriculum and classes?
So. Yeah, because they didn't make me change it, but the way they would talk about the program really changed the way I thought.
They were passionate about it also?
Yeah, they were really passionate. And you see that in a person. You see how they're passionate comes out of their body, and how it's real, it's realistic, and you see that a lot. And I think that's what made me change it too.
So do you feel as though the School of Social Work counselors have been very supportive in
up to this day,
wanting to be a social worker?
Yeah, up to this day they are. They do as much as possible to help you with the classes, and right now I decided to minor in criminology and criminal justice, and I talked to my advisor first, and she told me that it was a good decision to do because I could have graduated a semester early, but I wanted to take my time and I guess be in school as much as possible before going into the real world, because I wanted to do something else, minor something, but I didn't know in what. And
why did you choose criminology, criminal justice?
I also want to work with the juveniles also, maybe in the future. And it was something that, because there was another minor that was similar to social work, and I guess I wanted to do something that was different from it as well, and see how I can incorporate that into social work in the future.
What was the other minor that you're referring to?
It was family development, I think.
So are you going to end up taking that?
Which one?
The family development?
No, I already added the criminology. I'm gonna start my classes next semester.
Are you excited to start your classes?
Yes, I want to see like what it's about. It's mostly introduction classes because it's a minor, but it seems very interesting. Like the classes description and everything. Okay.
So you wanting to work with juveniles has also led you to the criminology major as a minor?
Yes.
So do you want to start off? Where do you want to start off in the criminology field? You said with juveniles. Is it prisons you want to do, or
maybe prison?
Homes?
Because like how I stated before, it was like kids that I was raised with. They took that pathway, and I want to see like I guess how they got to that place, because I knew like the beforehand, like as we were growing up, but after that I didn't really talk to them anymore throughout our high school years and even now. And I just want to get to know that background story.
So you want to know. Well, you were there at the beginning. You want to know how they ended up there.
I guess, yeah.
So you just want to study that phase in a juvenile's life? Do you want to be that change to lead them the totally different direction before they end up there?
Both ways. I guess that's why I want to start with the school social worker and like guide them to like a better pathway, and then later on see how I can learn from the juvenile setting and implement it back into the school social work, and then learn from the two settings and then go into the macro level.
Sounds like it's all going to tie itself together.
Yeah, somehow.
And it sounds also like you want to work with the children population.
Yes.
Or like before they become teens.
Yeah, yes, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you have it all figured out as far as switching majors. Sound like it actually worked out for you. You know what you want to do, and it doesn't sound like you're so stressed out anymore about it, like you're stating, and unsure about it. It sounds like you're really sure.
Yes, I'm very happy with the decision I made, and I guess it was a drastic change, but it was a good drastic change that I did need in my life at that point, even though I was 18. But
So do you feel like you're more stress-free now that you made this change, and do you feel like you'll ever look back?
I mean, it is still a little bit stressful because of like the assignments we have, but it's not as stressful. It's stressful. Back then it was stressful, both the classes and deciding if it was something. So it was like a lot to take in at the same time. And now it's just stressful about the class, and it's normal with any student. I mean, writing pieces, reading books, and everything. And but now it's most about the classes that I'm more stressed about.
So are you almost done with your major?
I only have about 9 classes left, so I'll be done by 2020. Spring.
So when do you graduate exactly?
Spring 2020, the time I'm supposed to graduate.
Have you interned yet?
Yes, I interned last semester and the semester before that. Yeah. And then my internship, like the internship for the class that we're supposed to take isn't until my senior year.
So your senior year is next year?
Next fall.
Next fall.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm kind of nervous because it's going to be like interacting with the population again, but I'm ready to get that one-on-one experience once again.
From what it sounds like, I think you have it all figured out and you'll do well.
Hopefully. I have.
You have so far?
Yeah.
So far you're doing all good in your social work classes?
Yes, all good. A's and B's.
Were you doing better than you were in your science classes?
Yeah, it's a lot more better. And it was because like now that I'm actually committed to it and it's something that I know I'm gonna do. It's why.
You're for sure now.
I decided to say I'm gonna get A's. And then in my science major I would say I'm gonna get A's, but I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't feel bad about it because I guess I knew it was something I wasn't gonna do. I was like, oh man, I got a C. That's okay. I'll do better next time.
Sounds like you making that change has really pushed and motivated you to do really good no matter what.
Yes.
No matter the circumstances.
Yes. Yeah. I guess I found myself again, like how I used to be in high school. Like I'm gonna get A's. Yeah.
Sounds like you're back.
I'm back.
Well, it's time to wrap this interview up.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck in everything, and I hope you do well.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Take care.
Thank you.